All right. I think we are live. As usual, just give me a moment to check everything. There we go. All right, perfect. I can see everything. Let me test the sound. All right. All right, sound is good. All right, guys. It's been a while. It's been a really long time, actually, since the last update. So I would say the best thing we can do right now is to start with a little update of what has been happening and where we left off the last time. So I would say, let's see, this was the last YouTube video that I made where I was basically calling for a short trade. Let me close this. I was calling for a short trade around 74 to 75, and I was giving two scenarios, either the reclaim for the bigger move or the short trade, which I was giving in, I think, somewhere here. There it is. So that was one of the scenarios to bring this back down to the new lows, and in fact, even the title was, Bitcoin to make new lows. And we actually did get this opportunity, oh shit, which was right here. As you can see, that was at the time the move that we were looking at. We had, I think it was this anchor VWAP. All right, it was this one actually. So the first time, if I'm correct, I don't think I took a short trade, and I actually waited right here. I think it was. I think I had said like, oh yeah, we had a front run. We still have the anchor VWAP above, and for those people who are in the Discord, you probably know by now that we took a short trade around 74.5, something like this. So we had the short trade, which did very well. At one point, I was making, I think, around $4,000 or $5,000, if I recall correctly. And then we actually had a really nice long trade, which I'm actually still in, and I can show you right here. Just give me a second. Right. So then we had the long trade at 66,000. As you can see, this is $4,000 in profit. I don't know where the entry is. It's somewhere down here. There it is. So you can see all the buys. I think I must have taken some profit here. I'm not sure. I took profit along the way. At the same time, I also did have a short running, which I can probably find here somewhere. No. I don't know. It's probably too old to see, I'm guessing. But anyways, yeah, so this was a great trade. Still in this. I am still optimally looking for higher. Oh, my face is gone. Hold on. There I am. So yeah, I am still looking for higher, to be honest. We'll cover this in a moment. And this is why I'm still holding. I mean, it's very small, but as you guys know, I also have some spot that I'm holding. So yeah, we're looking for a little bit higher. Then let's close this up. No, this one. So as I was saying, we caught the short, which has actually been closed. We took profit along the way. I think I realized around $2,000+ in profit, and I closed my short. I think it was around here, around 70,000, the majority of it, and then I got stopped out on the rest, like break even right here when we reclaimed the anchor VWAP. So overall, we were in a really optimal position where we were short from 74, we were long from 66. Along the way, we also did have some really nice long positions. I remember there was two very nice longs that I had given in the community. One was this, which was super nice. This was the other day, super small invalidation. I actually got closed on Blowfin. I took this trade, and my trade closed too early, and yeah, so that sucked. I made around 400, but I could have literally made, I don't know, 1.5K. And then I also had given another really nice one, which wasn't this one, but it was a similar position that, like, I remember it was a long, it was this one. So very similar. We had the point of control of the range, we had the anchor VWAP, and this ran like crazy. I remember I made some good money on here as well, and other members too. So yeah, that was just a little recap of what was going on. We're gonna get into some analysis very soon. And also, as usual, you guys, actually I'm gonna open the chat. Just give me a moment. You guys can drop the names of whatever altcoins you wanna see and everything, and we'll analyze them together. I just wanna make sure the chat is matching. Okay. So yeah, if there's anything you want to look at, you know, hype, whatever, we can look at it together. So anyways, I'm gonna explain a little bit the higher time frame of Bitcoin right now and what is happening and the reason why we have been short and why now we are looking for higher. This is a little bit of Elliott waves explanations where we have like the bigger cycle on the one. I hope like you guys can follow along, but basically we're looking for 5 waves in total when we talk about Elliott waves, which is 3 impulse waves, so waves to the upside, and 2 corrective waves. So we identified this old wave as wave 1, wave 2, that's the retracement. Now we are in wave 3, which also through Fibonacci, etc. I'm gonna explain this deeper in my mentorship, but basically we reached wave 3, the bigger wave 3, which also includes wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 as subwaves. This is very complicated, I know, for some people right now, but just stick with me. And basically, the theory goes that, of course, now we're going to be looking on the bigger wave as a wave 4, so we're expecting a retracement, and typically these waves 4 are followed by an ABC correction, which is going to look something like this. So as you can see on my chart, there's A, B, C. So you look for 5 waves down, 3 waves up, and then 5 waves down. And this can, you know, come here or it can come all the way here. It depends. And then you also have more complex structures, which I'm not going to cover now. But basically, just to make it simple for you, you can clearly see if we go on the daily time frame that we had I guess we could categorize these as the 5 waves down. We have, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would probably say something like that. And so now we are looking for, so that's our A. Now we have to look for the impulse up as the B, which would be, for example, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to look for 5 more waves down. And so that's going to be, once again, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. It's going to be, fucked it up. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down. And then from there, we will have put, hopefully, our 4th wave. Obviously, this is going to be smaller. We're going to have put our 4th wave, and we're going to look for a last impulsive wave, and then, you know, a major correction. Anyways, that's how the theory works. And that is why, for now, we are looking for upside, optimally. I mean, this can also be wrong, of course. But if we are looking for that B, we're going to look at the 0.66 retracement, which brings us to around 100,000. And we're going to also explain this in a second. Because we also have this pattern right here with the trend line that if we can break through it, and I'm also going to explain why we rejected from where we rejected. If we can break through this, that's going to be a very bullish pattern, which, you know, if we break and backtest, can take us up there. So that is why we have been buying spot positions around, you know, 67 to 60. And as you guys know, I'm exposed in spot now, and I'm waiting for higher. So let's go down to the lower time frame. We have market open in 1 minute. So we're gonna see what happens during market open. But as of now, let's see what is going on here. So I have taken this trend line. I don't typically do trend lines, but I think this is very important. From all-time high, last pivot at around 97,000, where, if you guys remember, we actually shorted this. And now we had this 3rd pivot right here, which I like to look at on the daily time frame. You can clearly see that that is where we were not able to get any closes on the daily time frame above this trend line. So that is where we're currently rejecting. We could have had a short trade here. If we go down to the 30 minutes, you can, I think once you go off logarithmic, no, just bear with me. There was something where there was a back test, I remember. I don't know why it's not showing up now. Maybe it was a lower time frame. I don't remember exactly how it was, but when I was checking it out, there was actually a back test of this trend line, which now apparently has disappeared. But anyways, there was two ways to short this. Either you were super aggressive and you shorted like the top right here, which personally I didn't, or you had to wait, for example, for a loss and a back test, which at the time I swear I saw it, but I don't know, now it's gone. Or you, for example, had to wait for the loss right here of the value area high of this more local range. Once you enter, you back test, this is your short. We could have had like something like this with the stop loss above to run this lower, but I mean, as you can see now, it would be almost at entry. So it was a pretty hard short to get into, to be honest. And I did say that I was actually looking for higher, and I mean, I still am. I think it's pretty easy. This happened during the weekend. I think it's pretty easy to, you know, recover the whole fall that has happened during the weekend on low volume. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a 5%. We are already up. One sec. We're already up like 2.5. We already recovered, let's say, almost half. I mean, 1/3 of the fall. I mean, you know, this can easily like start reclaiming the value area high here and push for higher, and perhaps here even we can have that back test to then continue higher. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on the higher time frame. As I said, I'm not in any short trades. I would have liked to be. Honestly, I think this was the chance. Now if we get, like, for example, a back test here and we get a rejection, we could get into a short trade, to be honest. We would also have, you know, the Fibonacci. But looking at this and where we bounced, you know, we bounced perfectly off of the value area low. I was actually thinking of taking this trade, but it was very late. It was around like 2 a.m. so I didn't even send it. But this could have been a very valid long trade as well, which would have played out perfectly. Stop loss below the low, very small invalidation, looking for the value area high, first take profit at the point of control. But yeah, I didn't take that, and to be honest, I'm okay with the trades I currently have right now. Also, another thing I want to show you, in that YouTube video, we were actually talking about Pippin, which, as you guys know, like, we had been shorting since like 85 cents. And I mean, I just want to show you like how we were still at 31 cents and how also using Elliott waves, I was calling for that bounce to then just keep going down. And actually, so I was basically saying I'm staying short, like I'm not buying any of this. And if you actually go and see, I still have this position open. I mean, look at this. Pippin is now down 97%. You can see this right here. I've taken basically most of my profit. This took 55 days. So that's why you see only $150 of profit. But in reality, you know, you can see right here, realized $5,000. And yeah, I mean, we shorted this from 82 cents to now 2 cents. So pretty crazy. Then I also want to show you NVIDIA. We had this long trade from 166, which was basically the low. The low was put in at 164. Now we're trading at 200. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to fill my size properly. So that's why you see that I'm only making around $200. I mean, as you can see, typically I make much more, 4,000 here on Bitcoin, 5,000 on Pippin. I kind of just fucked this one up, I'm not gonna lie. And then when I realized the price was already like 167, 168. So, I mean, yeah, I could have added, but I was super greedy. I was waiting for a back test, which was never there. And so I was never able to add my size, as well as this trade on gold. I was hoping for another retest, which I never got. So as well here, I mean, this was great, from 4,600 to 4,800. But again, I mean, only $200. I mean, that's better than a loss. So I'm not gonna complain. But it is what it is. So let's get back to Bitcoin. There we go. The market just opened and we clearly saw the usual drop. I mean, that's another retest of the point of control. We can also check order flow. You guys are not gonna see this, but I will update you through it. And there are honestly quite a bit of longs opening, but until we trade below that level of longs, there's no need to like start getting bearish or anything. So for now, order flow is pretty neutral. And yeah, I would say, I mean, at least to reach these 75,800, if we flip this, as I mentioned, this is going to be a tough short because, let me get rid of this, because, I mean, if we start to reclaim value area high, I don't really see this like just rejecting randomly, not randomly, because I mean, it would be a backtest of this trend line, and we do have the Fibonacci. But at this point, if we reclaim this, I would say we would have the strength to push this higher for a new high, and probably push towards the higher targets, which I'll cover in a moment. But basically we have 81,000, which I don't think is that important. But I would say the most important level for me is going to be that 86,000, and then going towards, you know, this anchor VWAP 93, and then 100 plus. So we really just need this trend line, which I took on the logarithmic scale, to hold like this, flip it into support, and then we can expect that move higher. Otherwise, I mean, it's totally possible to not even get the back test and drop from here. I mean, as you guys know, that's always a possibility. But let's also check the stock market, which, by the way, I also want to cover this. I did give this in the Discord. I was saying how we were probably coming to a low. I mean, we had the huge volume range right here, value area high. We had the anchor VWAP from this low. And I was basically saying either we bounce here for a new high, or at least I had given actually a, which now is not here anymore, but I had given like a lower time frame target to de-risk your positions, which was this point of control and this Fibonacci level. But I mean, we clearly blasted through that for a new high. And I mean, this is the most bullish thing that you can see. I mean, it just constantly makes new highs. There's no point shorting this, obviously, unless, you know, as you've seen here, I've prepared this. But even if we start trading below, I mean, how many times do we see that? Like even right here, right? We start trading below again, we get that drop, but eventually we make a new high. So I think this will be like a trap to get some some short stocks, and then push this higher. So I mean, yeah, stocks bullish. As you guys know, I bought Nvidia, as we just covered. This was the target I had given. Neo, I mean, also pushing higher. This was, I mean, I had sold most of it, and then I did give another trade here, which I didn't take. So yeah, I mean, Microsoft as well, we had that target, which unfortunately was never reached. Let's see, Procter & Gamble, never reached, it was 134. Target never reached. Meta, this was reached. I did give this as a opportunity to buy. I was expecting actually a bounce and then down, but I mean, obviously with S&P making new highs, it was obviously less likely at this point to drop. And then silver, I don't know if I gave anything, I don't think so, but I mean, you can see a clear filled auction right there, which could have given you that long trade. But since we were already exposed on gold right here, I mean, I had given this level for a buy, which was absolutely perfect. So I hope some of you took advantage of this. And then I had given another long trade right here, which is the one I'm currently in, which once again was perfect. Point of control, value area low, Fibonacci. I mean, you really had everything here, which was the perfect trade. And again, I mean, as you can see, this just blasted up. So I never had that opportunity to buy the retest, which is why my size was so small. Can you take a look at VOW, looking at swing play? Yeah, I'll take a look later. At the anchor VWAP at 93,000, there's also a weekly level as added confluence. I gotta check that out, to be honest. I haven't updated my charts. Oh no, that's not true. I do have it updated. I just forgot to turn on my levels. Yeah, you are right. I don't know why I didn't mark that one. We do have a weekly right here. I don't know why I don't have that marked. It's probably one of these, no, not even. Trades. Well, I don't know. But yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. I'm just gonna clean these up because I think it's getting a bit crowded. So we can turn these off, Put this in the horizontals, which I lost. There we go. So yeah, I mean, here it's pretty simple. For new opportunities on Bitcoin, in case I saw a lot of people actually, to be honest, I don't know how, because we had a lot of opportunities to long, spot, and leverage. I mean, also the new trader that you guys have been following, Ben Q, he also gave some great long trades and short trades. Like for example, he's been short since 77,000. Oh, and by the way, another thing that we could have done was playing the failed auction, right? So we had this high right here, traded above it. Once we were back below it and back tested it along with this value area high, that was the short trade. But again, I mean, if you had the invalidation above 78,000, it's not like this would have given you a nice risk to reward. And as of now, I mean, the structure is still bullish. So, I mean, yeah, unless you can really aggressively short something like this, I don't think there was too much of a point to short right here. Sorry guys, I'm gonna put my sunglasses on because I have this huge light in my eyes, which is bothering me. So I'm sorry if I look like a G, but yeah, I mean, I have this super bright light. I mean, you can see it right there in the reflection, which is just straight in my eyes. It's kind of fucking with them. So yeah, that's what we got. Again, I will let you know if I take this short trade right here in my Discord. But again, I feel like if we gotta get back up here at this point, we might as well break through it. So let's see. Maybe, if we get something like an SFP right here, start trading back below, I'll take it. And then, we can look for deeper retracement to this 71 level that I was talking about, which would just be the retest of this value area high right here, right? On the anchor VWAP from this last low. If we get a nice reaction, we lose the level, we then reclaim, then we can have another long trade for an opportunity. And then, as I was saying, actually no, I didn't say that because at the first target I was looking for 73, which we never got because we have a naked point of control. We have the lows right here. So that's still another thing that we can look at. If, for example, we get this setup and we want to be a little bit more aggressive, instead of keeping the stop loss above this high, we can put it above here, and then we can get a nice risk to reward. We can target the naked point of control, which, what the fuck, has disappeared once again. Okay, well, there's a daily, I remember there's a daily naked point of control right here, which was front run. I was actually waiting for this level, and it kind of sucked that it didn't hit it because it made me miss the move. But if we can get something like this, where we get that other like SFP backtest of the trend line, then we can trade this short trade and try to take it to this naked point of control, where, I mean, as you can see, we have a pretty clear range right here. Right there, with this fake out, you could have traded the short. And I mean, now until the range works, we trade it. So if this then comes down, we can wait for that hit of the naked point of control right here. And then we can trade this to the upside for hopefully one of the two sides will break, hopefully to the upside, as I'm more exposed to the upside as of now. And yeah, so you will get stopped out either on the short or on the long, and then you can let either two of these trades run for either higher or lower. So this is one of my preferred strategies to trade, as you guys know by now. So let's wait and see. But yeah, I would say this more locally is the plan, something like that. And once again, you want to be placing yourself short here, and for a possible drop down, a bigger drop down, like for example, if we get back down to this point of control, or even this value area low. I think at this point, if we get to the value area low, we're probably going to lose it and we're going to make a new low, and that's why it's important, for example, to be protected. So this can go from like a 1 to 3 to a 1 to 23, and then you're also like completely protected on whatever, on your longs, on your spot bags, etc., etc. So yeah, we would have something like this, and then if instead we get a nice reaction here, by the time we get there, this anchor VWAP has moved up. We also get the touch of the anchor VWAP, and from there we break the trend line, back test it, and have that bigger move to 100,000 plus. This trade also goes from like a 1 to 4 or 5 to a possible 1 to 20, which means if you risk 1K, you can make 20K. So that's how I would play it, and that's it for Bitcoin. But I would rather just see this like make a new high at this point. Also keep in mind, we do have some highs right here, which we can consider as liquidity. No, sorry, not there, right here. This could be your speculative range high. We just gotta be careful for a reaction there you know, maybe onto this point of control, lose this level. That could give us another short trade. But to be honest, my preference is just higher. 86,000 first. If we can reclaim that, I'm going to be looking at 96. But yeah, so that's my plan. And now let's look at hype, VOW, and Tau. So Tau, we actually had a long trade, which didn't work out, as you can see right here. No, that was not the long trade. I don't know why sometimes these things move. This was the long trade that we had taken right here. We had a very nice reaction. Fuck, I can't see shit. We had a very nice reaction. As you can see on the 4 hours, we had the value area low of this more local range. We had the value area, the value area low of the bigger range. We had the value area low of the local range. Onto that weekly, we had the anchor VWAP. I think maybe, no, we didn't have any levels. Unless, yeah, no, it was just the weekly. And we took this trade. I mean, at least I did. I remember I was making like $1,000 at one point. And I mean, we clearly had a very nice reaction. The back test, I think that's when I entered around 257. This moved up all the way to 281. I did say to take profit right here. And I mean, we had a clear rejection of the point of control to proceed lower and then get stopped out. I actually didn't take any profit because I was hoping to get like a full rotation of this to 320. And I wasn't really interested in taking 1K of profits because I was hoping to make like 4 or 5. And whatever, I ended up, actually I did take profit, I'm wrong. I ended up losing like $400 or $500 on this trade. As of now, I mean, this is clearly still bearish. We lost the lows right here. I'm not really interested in trading this. We can probably look for more opportunities if we drop towards, I don't know, maybe like 200, taking out 200. Let's see. Yeah, I would say 200 is gonna be the place to check for something. Never got this short trade. I'm gonna clean this up now. This was fine. Yeah, unfortunately, we were a bit unlucky, but it is what it is. So I would say target on Tau is gonna be taking out 200, and then here we can look for that drop and then continuation. Hopefully, you know, if Bitcoin starts pumping, I think that's also a possibility. Oh, forgot to look at Ethereum. Ethereum, I had been calling for this, let's say, rounded bottom right here and that reversal. And I did say if we lost 1.7, we could have, you know, had a much bigger drop. This never happened. I did load up on Ethereum right here, and I'm obviously now in profit. And to be honest, I want to have 2,500 on Ethereum. I think that would be target 1. And then, you know, if we can flip that level, then you can start looking towards 3.5, where we also have this series of highs and this weekly level. So yeah, hopefully, you know, it's pretty simple. We just need to check these levels. If we get the rejection here, you can get into a short trade, and that would still give us that lower high. Sorry, yeah, the lower high for continuation lower for lower low towards, you know, even below 1,000. And then instead, if we get that reclaim, once again, pretty simple, we can expect that move higher. I like to keep things simple when I'm looking at the higher time frame. So that's the plan on Ethereum. For a new long, I would say we would have to wait for a back test of this value area high right here. Let's see if we have some anchor VWAPs. Yeah, you know, this could line up slowly over time right here. And sorry if this is looking like a mess. But yeah, I would say right here, you know, if we get something like this, hopefully stay above, then we can have our invalidation, you know, even below the point of control, or I mean just below the low, and then target point of control as the first take profit, and then eventually possibly letting this run for higher, giving us, for example, 1 to 20. I mean, it depends where the stop loss will be. Could be 1 to 20, could be 1 to 10. It really depends. Yeah, so that's what I got on Ethereum, and then possibly a short right here. You know, would be nice, for example, to get another move above the highs, then do a little failed auction right here, and then, you know, you can get into that short trade to protect yourself. Then, so we covered Tau, Ethereum, Bitcoin. Someone was talking about hype. Hype, I would say, I mean, it's got a very nice bullish structure. We clearly flipped this anchor VWAP, which could have been a very nice long right here. And as of now, let's find something new. I mean, I'm definitely interested in seeing this point of control. Let's delete all these. Monthly, got nothing. Weekly, it's a bit below the point of control. I mean, we can put it, but I'm not super interested in that. That's interesting. Daily. I'm just gonna keep the weekly. I don't think I need that daily. Let's see, the anchor VWAP. Did we take this liquidity? Yes. By the way, I don't know if you guys remember, but in the past live streams, I was always talking about how, like, be careful for these wick fills because you can get massive pumps, and you know, you could have literally like doubled your investment with no leverage, just buying the fill of the wick, buying some here, putting the invalidation below, even by $1, and then, you know, you would have had a insane trade, even if you put like your stop loss at 18 or whatever. I mean, that would have given you a 1 to 12. So yeah, but let's see now what we got. I mean, clearly the 618 holds very well. I guess this was a bit more bullish. Yeah, I would say we have some opportunities here. This one's taken. Let's see. I would say there's two interesting levels. 3, I would say. Let me see again something. Okay. So I would say I wouldn't long this now, to be honest. I don't see any point. I would say we have a short trade, potential short trade on this rotation to value area high. So, you know, we gotta see and wait. What I just don't like here is the fact that we have these two highs very close to each other. So I do feel like if we get up here, chances are that, you know, we flip this into support and proceed for a new high, which is why it would be nice to like place ourselves into a long at one point. But I would say, yeah, that was, I mean, this was such a sign of strength right there. Yeah, I'm gonna give you this one short, which, I mean, of course, we always have to wait for a reaction. Let's say the best thing for the short would be to reclaim this, go above these highs, do some sort of failed auction, trade back below, and then that would be our entry, like at 47, and then you would literally get exactly this type of short trade, something like this, to possibly, I don't know, take this back down to here, but again, it's just a 1 to 3, not my favorite type of trades. Another option would be that you don't even do that, you just simply reject from value area high and weekly, which honestly I would kind of prefer to keep this structure as well of lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, that one lower high to then, you know, drop again. It's just this looks too bullish for this short trade to really happen. So I don't know, but keep that in mind. I'll keep an alert as well. What I would prefer to see is another drop right here into 37, 38 on this bigger point of control. Let's see if we have an anchor VWAP, maybe from this low. Yeah, you know, that could like catch up slowly. I'm gonna remove this one. So I would say Your chances are gonna be around 37 for a nice swing, something like this. You know, you can either keep the stop loss below the low, or you know, you wait for the price action, you wait for this to be lost, reclaimed, and then you know, you have your invalidation, for example, here, and you're looking for that other higher low to proceed higher and make a new high, hopefully towards that $47 target. And then, you know, that would give us a very nice trade, already a 1 to 4. If this then runs for new highs, can give you a 1 to 10, and perhaps, I don't know, let's say this goes to 100 or more, this can give you like a very, very nice trade to, you know, just leave and let it like ride. So that would be option 1. Then option 2, a little bit deeper, would be probably here towards this point of control, anchor VWAP. I just don't really like how at this point we would change the market structure here, right? We would get something like breaking this low. Then I feel like at this point we would also, actually I'm not interested in this level, to be honest. I'm taking that back, because at this point, if we lose the point of control, I would expect a full rotation back down to 30, where I do think, for example, would be very interesting to take that long trade. So if we can get something like another push higher, get in that short trade, then get that move down, trade back down to this value area low, and then here have that nice long trade, then that would be nice. Or also, for example, front running this, then that would also give me more confidence, for example, to long here. So I would say something more local is going to be 38. I'm going to have this. We're going to have the short here. And then we're going to have the long, the swing trade. I mean, obviously not, doesn't mean that this is going to happen for sure. But it would be nice, for example, to first get the drop, exactly like this. First, I want to get that drop, get into my long trade, gives me more confidence that we can get this target of 47. Maybe we reject here. If we don't, we let the long trade run. This gets stopped out. If instead this rejects, we get in our short trade, and then we let either of these two trades run. You know, obviously I'm going to be taking profit up here on my long. But yeah, and hopefully get this back down to 30. And then here we can look for another long, etc., etc. So I would say that's the plan. I have alerts here. I mean, here I don't really need an alert as of now. But this is more of a scenario where I think Bitcoin goes back down to 56,000, which is an option. But yeah, so that's where I'm interested in on hype. Neo. You think WTI? What's WTI? Oil. Is it? I don't know what this is. I don't know which gap you're talking about as well. I don't know. Neo, I had covered it. I had given this long trade. Then I also looked at this other like flip of the anchor VWAP. I don't think I sent this in the Discord, but this was very nice. You see this so many times. I mean, even on hype, we just covered it. If you get a nice flip of the anchor VWAP from, you know, the highs, I mean, this one worked better. Take that long trade, because so many times this gives you such a nice trade. I mean, we are now at resistance, this daily level, but I do think it's gonna make new highs towards 8, most likely. I mean, again, we are at resistance here. This needs to start reclaiming, but I don't know. I think it's looking pretty bullish. I mean, even this was like such a nice retest of the lows. I do feel like chances are, I mean, unless this is a harmonic pattern, which would look something like this. This is possible. Maybe new lows, or, you know, I don't know. I personally, I think this is probably going to push higher. Just a gut feeling. I don't know. I don't trade oil. I really don't even. I didn't even know, honestly, it was crude oil. I mean, I read it, but I thought oil was trading at like 90 plus. So I don't, that's what threw me off. I don't understand why it's at, unless I'm confusing it with silver. No, oil should be like, it was trading like 120, 90. I don't remember the ticker, to be honest. I never trade oil. I remember I looked at it recently, so let me check here. US oil, there it is. 85. The pair you had given me. Ah, okay, WTI, okay. I mean, I don't know. This is the pair I look at. That's why I was confused. Ah, okay, you mean this gap. I don't know. Again, as I said, I don't really trade oil. If I had to give you like an analysis here, I mean, this is why I also don't like it. It's just full of gaps. Really not my asset, to be honest. So, I mean, I could give you some analysis, but I don't even know if this gets respected. It just looks like we've been in a huge range. I mean, it's too volatile for me. Honestly, I'm really not interested. Okay, yeah, as I said, honestly, I'm not, I'm more of a Bitcoin and gold trader. I mean, gold, honestly, not even like just swinging. But yeah, I really don't follow oil at all. We were saying Solana honestly is pretty weak. I am holding spot, but as you can see here, really not much interesting stuff. Just has been ranging for a while. I haven't even updated my chart, to be honest. But yeah, we really need to start reclaiming 97 to start seeing some movements. And I'm honestly just not interested. I think the buys were here at 70. I bought my spot bag and I'm just holding. And the problem is that if we start losing this area right here, there's not much that we have left. So, you know, hopefully we can hold here, because if we start seeing something like this, I do think Solana can go back to $20. I've been talking about this for like over a year. So yeah, but as of now, I think this is super weak. I'm not interested. Hopefully, if, you know, Ethereum starts going back towards 3,000, this can start its, you know, its movement. But I'm not so interested in Solana, to be honest. And XRP, I also haven't seen in a long time, but same thing right here. I mean, as you guys can see, fill of the wick, nice pump from 1 to 1.68. And again, here we've been ranging. So, you know, you can do some range trading. You can see already right here, we rejected from this anchor VWAP right here, which was pretty nice. I would say, you know, if you know how to range trade, stick to range trading as of now. I mean, we've been ranging for over 4 months now. Ah, shit. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, we're just between this value area high, value area low. Could we get another move to the anchor VWAP? Yes, and just put that lower high, lower high, lower high. We could. You know, if you give it more time, this can reach closer to these highs, and then you're gonna have some type of movement like that. Wait for the fake out of value area high, take that short trade, and yeah. Honestly, I'm not really interested in long trades. This doesn't have the trend for a long trade, to be honest. I mean, I much rather long something that looks more like, honestly, not even this, but more like hype that we just looked at, compared to XRP, which clearly doesn't really have a direction, you know? It's kind of like Bitcoin as of now. We need to really start reclaiming this anchor VWAP if we want to see that bigger move towards 1.8. So I'm not a breakout trader, but we could, you know, like wait for this and trade, for example, the backtest that I was talking about. And then, you know, try to get a very small invalidation here and trade this to higher. Because I mean, this was a very quick drop, so this can go up very quickly if we start getting these reclaims. Okay, I'm just gonna look at VOW and then quit the live. VOW. But what do you mean, the Volkswagen or the crypto? Honestly, the crypto is very, very small. One thing I want to look at, that our trader Ben Q shorted, is this rave. He shorted at 20, I think, 25, And this, I mean, it's kind of like Pippin. I shorted Pippin, he shorted this, and I mean, GG's to him. Clearly, this is now trading below $1. Had a massive drop, so congrats to him. That was very nice. Yeah, I mean, clearly a rug pull. It's nice sometimes to get these projects, and if you can get into a short trade, you know, this can can play out very well, clearly. But also, I mean, don't try to short, you know, the whole rise and then short. You know, you gotta wait for some type of like weakness, which is hard to get on this chart, clearly, considering that this whole move just happened in 1 month, not even 1 week. Yeah, 1 week. So, you know, that was a hard one, but I mean, he shorted it, so, and he sent the alert. All right, let's do VOW and WLD, and then I'll quit. So VOW, the stock, I mean, I don't really look at stocks, especially Volkswagen, which is not even on the New York. Oh man, this looks terrible. Okay. I mean, this is just, I hope you're not holding this, because first of all, I don't know why you would hold Volkswagen. But I mean, trend is clearly down. You're now ranging. I think chances are you just keep on making new lows. It's clearly a losing stock. I mean, with the S&P looking like this, you clearly don't want to be on stocks that look like this. But yeah, so I would say pretty bearish. It's just terrible. I mean, if you've been holding this literally for the last 20 years, you're at zero. Like, sure, you would have made some nice money up here, probably when back in 2007 it was cool to drive. I am alive. Yes, I'm alive. I was offline for a bit. But yeah, so really not interested in this. It just looks pretty terrible. I wouldn't even know where to start. I mean, obviously I know where to start, but I don't think we're gonna get anything. You're at the point of control, value area low. I mean, if you want to try and have a long here, I mean, it's possible, considering this thing is dead. You know, you might get that rotation up to 180, but I think this is more of a company issue than trading technicals. If you're trading technicals, I would not look at this, to be honest. Let me see something, just out of curiosity. How do I do this? Strong buy. Wow. Okay. I mean, I don't know. On a technical analysis, I would never consider this a strong buy. I kind of want to see the financials to understand something. Key stat earnings. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the company. I haven't studied it, so could be that this is the bottom. I just think on a technical level, it looks terrible. Yeah, WLD, what is that? WorldCoin? Something like that? Let's see. Is it Strong Altman or Sam Altman? Oh my god, this also looks terrible. I guess we had done a little analysis as well in the past. I can see I had given a short trade. Let's see if that ever played out. Oh, it seems like it. Seems like this would have played out. Oh yeah, I remember actually I did take a crazy long on this at 47 cents. That was super nice. I remember that trade. I made like quite a bit of money on that. And then yeah, I mean, the short trade was pretty easy. I mean, I don't know what the fuck happened here. Probably some news. I mean, but this is pretty dead. Consolidation lower. I would say probably consolidation lower. Even though we did fill the wick, so you know, as usual, you can try that long trade. I mean, this would have happened a long time ago, to be honest, though. The fill of the wick was not even about a month ago. But yeah, to be honest with you, this looks pretty terrible. I would honestly look for another short trade more locally here, looking at this range. Probably like a back test of this value area low right here. Catching up with the anchor VWAP. See if we have some dailies. Nothing there. Daily, no. I mean, this daily as well, just the daily created this good drop. So yeah, I would say if this gets, you know, that bounce, I would try to short it again at 36 cents or maybe, you know, 40 cents. But honestly, this is so weak, I think, that yeah, this would be nice. 36 cents to 40 cents. I mean, you can even take this more as a swing and try to do something like this and take this to new lows. I think that's a nice short trade. I do think this is probably gonna die. I mean, yeah, it's down 65% in a year. It's terrible. All these altcoins are pretty shit. I have been saying for a while on all the lives, if you go back, like, don't hold on to altcoins. The only things I'm holding is Bitcoin, Ethereum, AVAX, and Solana, which are also doing shit as well. So, but it's the only ones that I'm willing to hold, to be honest. I mean, just look at all these charts. Anything you open just looks terrible. Terrible. I mean, this was my best short trade. But yeah, so anyways, guys, I'm gonna end it here. I hope you got something cool from this, and see you. I'll try to do this more often. I miss doing this. And yeah, so have a good day, and I'll see